Admiral Kethavar stood on the bridge of his massive warship and looked down at the small blue planet below. Earth looked peaceful from space. White clouds moved slowly across green and brown land. The oceans were a deep blue color that reminded him of home. But Kethavar was not here to admire the view. He was here to conquer. The hegemony had done this many times before. They would arrive at a primitive world, destroy the local military, and take whatever they wanted. The process was always the same. First, they would scan the planet and learn about the native species. Then they would send down invasion forces to crush any resistance. Finally, they would strip the world of its resources and move on to the next target. Kethavar had personally overseen 17 successful invasions. He knew exactly what to expect from primitive species when faced with superior technology. They would panic. They would fight desperately for a few days. Then they would surrender or die. It was always the same story. His science officer approached with a data pad. "Admiral, we have completed our scans of the planet. The dominant species calls themselves humans. They have basic nuclear weapons and primitive spacecraft. Their largest cities hold about 10 million individuals each. Total population is approximately 8 billion. Kethavar nodded. 8 billion was actually quite large for a primitive world. But it did not matter. The hegemony's plasma weapons could destroy entire cities in minutes. Their shields could stop anything the humans might throw at them. This would be over quickly. "What about their military strength?" Kethavar asked. "Scattered across the planet, in small groups. They have no unified command structure. Their weapons are projectile-based with some basic energy systems. Nothing that can penetrate our shields. We estimate complete victory within 72 hours. Kethavar smiled. 72 hours was actually longer than usual. Most species surrendered within 48 hours, but humans seem to have more weapons than most primitives, so perhaps they would put up a slightly better fight before the inevitable end. "Begin the invasion," Kethavar ordered. "Send the first wave to their major population centers. I want their governments destroyed within the first day." Hundreds of small attack ships launched from the massive hegemony fleet. They streaked through Earth's atmosphere like falling stars, their plasma cannons charging for the first strike. Kethavar watched on his screens as the ships approached their targets. New York, London, Tokyo, Moscow, Beijing, all would be burning ruins before the sunset. The first wave of attacks began exactly as planned. Plasma beams lanced down from the sky, striking military bases and government buildings. Huge explosions lit up the cities as human defenses tried desperately to respond. Kethavar watched human aircraft rising to meet his ships, knowing they would be destroyed in seconds by superior hegemony technology. But then something strange happened. The human aircraft were not destroyed in seconds. In fact, they seemed to be holding their own against the attack ships. Kethavar frowned and leaned forward to get a better look at his screens. "Report," he barked at his tactical officer. "Sir, we are encountering unexpected resistance. The human aircraft are using some kind of energy weapon we have not seen before. They appear to be specifically designed to penetrate our shields." Kethavar felt a cold chill run down his spine. Weapons designed to penetrate hegemony shields? That was impossible. No primitive species had ever developed such technology on their own, unless— "Sir," his communications officer called out, "we are receiving a transmission from the planet's surface. It appears to be directed at us specifically." "Put it on screen," Kethavar ordered. The face that appeared on the main display was human, but there was something in the eyes that made Kethavar uncomfortable. The human was an older male with gray hair and scars on his face. When he spoke, his voice was calm and confident. "Welcome to Earth, Admiral Kethavar of the Hegemony Third Fleet. My name is General Harrison, Commander of Earth Defense Command. We have been expecting you." Kethavar's blood turned to ice. They knew his name. They knew his fleet designation. And most terrifying of all, they had been expecting him. That is impossible, Kethvar whispered. General Harrison smiled on the screen. Nothing is impossible, Admiral, especially when you have had practice. This is not the first time aliens have tried to invade our world. The Zelthani tried 60 years ago. The Mordak Collective tried 35 years ago. The Vorthan Empire tried just 15 years ago. Would you like to know what happened to them? Kethvar did not want to know, but he could not stop himself from asking. What happened to them? They never left, Harrison said simply. Their ships are in our museums now. Their technology is in our laboratories. Their weapons are in our arsenals. And some of their people are still here, helping us prepare for the next invasion, which, as it turns out, is you. The tactical displays around Kethvar began flashing red as more of his ships came under attack. But these were not random human counterattacks. These were coordinated strikes using weapons that should not exist on a primitive world. Weapons that looked suspiciously similar to hegemony technology, but modified in ways that made them more effective against hegemony defenses. This cannot be happening, Kethvar said, but even as he spoke, he watched another of his attack ships explode under human fire. Harrison's voice continued from the speakers. Oh, but it is happening, Admiral. You see, every time a species like yours tries to invade us, we learn something new. We study your technology, we analyze your tactics, and we improve our defenses. By now, we have learned from so many different alien invasions that we are ready for almost anything. Kethvar turned to his science officer. How is this possible? Our intelligence said this was a primitive world with no contact with other species. The science officer's face was pale. Sir, I am detecting massive underground installations across the planet. They were hidden by some kind of dampening field that we did not recognize. These installations appear to contain technology from multiple different species. On the screen, General Harrison nodded. That dampening field was a gift from the Vorthan Empire, very useful for hiding things from orbital scans. The plasma weapons your ships are currently being destroyed by came from the Mordak Collective, and the shield penetrators we are using were inspired by Zelthani particle beam technology. Kethvar watched in horror as more and more of his ships fell from the sky. This was not supposed to happen. The hegemony was the most powerful force in the galaxy. They had never failed to conquer a primitive world. You cannot win, Kethvar said, though his voice lacked conviction. Even if you destroy this fleet, more will come. The hegemony does not accept defeat. Harrison's smile grew wider. More will come? Excellent. We are always eager to add new technology to our collection. Tell me, Admiral, what new toys has the hegemony brought us this time? As if in answer to his question, explosions began rocking Kethvar's flagship. Somehow, human fighters had penetrated the ship's defenses and were attacking the bridge directly. Through the smoke and chaos, Kethvar could hear Harrison's voice, still speaking from the communication system. Welcome to Earth, Admiral. I hope you enjoy your stay, because like all our previous visitors, you are going to be here for a very long time. 3 days had passed since the invasion began, and Admiral Kethvar could not believe what he was seeing. His massive fleet, which should have conquered this primitive world in hours, was scattered and broken. Half of his ships were destroyed or disabled. The other half were trapped in Earth's atmosphere, unable to escape because human fighters kept attacking any ship that tried to reach orbit. Kethvar stood in what remained of his command center, staring at damage reports that made no sense. According to his engineers, the human weapons were impossible. They used hegemony power sources, but with modifications that made them twice as efficient. They fired projectiles made from materials that his scientists had never seen before. Worst of all, they seemed to know exactly where to hit hegemony ships to cause maximum damage. Sir, his tactical officer reported, we have lost contact with the ground forces in North America. The last transmission indicated they were under attack by human forces using Mordak battle armor. Mordak battle armor? Kethvar repeated. The Mordak Collective was destroyed 50 years ago. How do humans have their equipment? Before anyone could answer, new alarms began sounding. Kethvar looked at his screens and saw something that chilled him to the bone. Rising from the Earth's oceans were massive structures that had not been there before. They were clearly artificial, built with technology from multiple different species. As he watched, weapons platforms emerged from these structures and began firing at his remaining ships. "Where did those come from?" Kethvar demanded. His science officer checked his instruments with shaking hands. "Sir, they were hidden beneath the ocean floor. Our scans never detected them because they were using some kind of phase-shifting technology. According to our database, that technology belongs to the Centauri Republic. But the Centauri Republic exists on the other side of the galaxy," Kethvar said. "They have never been to this sector of space." "Not officially," a new voice said from behind him. Kethvar spun around to see a human standing in his command center. The man was wearing what looked like modified hegemony armor, but it had been painted in Earth colors and fitted with additional equipment that Kethvar did not recognize. Two hegemony soldiers lay unconscious at the human's feet. "How did you get aboard my ship?" Kethvar asked. The human smiled. "Vorthon teleportation technology, upgraded with Zelthani power cells and Mordak stealth systems. Very useful for surprise visits. My name is Colonel Martinez, Earth Defense Special Operations." Kethvar reached for his weapon, but Martinez held up a hand. "I would not do that if I were you, Admiral. This armor has built-in defensive systems from 6 different alien species. Plus, I am not here to fight, I am here to talk." "What could we possibly have to discuss?" Kethvar asked. Martinez walked over to the main display screen and began pressing buttons with practiced ease. To Kethvar's amazement, the human seemed to know exactly how to operate hegemony technology. Images began appearing on the screen, showing Earth from space, but these were not current images. They were much older. "This is Earth 62 years ago," Martinez explained. "This is when the Zelthani Empire first arrived. They thought humans were primitive just like you did. They landed with a fleet of 300 ships, expecting easy conquest. The images on the screen showed alien ships attacking human cities. But as Kethvar watched, he saw the human resistance grow stronger and more organized. Within weeks, the Zelthani ships were being destroyed by weapons that looked suspiciously advanced for a primitive species. The Zelthani made a mistake," Martinez continued. "They thought humans were just another primitive species to be conquered. They did not realize that humans had been preparing for alien contact for decades. When their ships crashed, we studied them. When their soldiers were captured, we questioned them. When their technology failed, we improved it." The images changed to show the aftermath of the Zelthani invasion. Human engineers were crawling over captured alien ships, taking them apart piece by piece. Human scientists were studying alien weapons and armor. Human soldiers were training with captured equipment. By the time the Zelthani invasion was over, Martinez said, "We had learned everything we needed to know about space warfare. We had their technology, their tactics, and their weaknesses. Most importantly, we had time to prepare for the next invasion." New images appeared, showing Earth 37 years ago. This time, the attacking ships looked different. They belonged to the Mordak Collective. The Mordak were more cautious than the Zelthani, Martinez explained. They studied Earth for months before attacking. They thought they were prepared for human resistance. But they made the same mistake as the Zelthani. They underestimated us. Kethvar watched as the Mordak invasion unfolded on the screen. The aliens had better weapons and stronger armor than the Zelthani, but the humans were ready for them. Human fighters attacked using modified Zelthani technology. Human ground forces wore captured Zelthani battlesuits upgraded with human improvements. The Mordak invasion lasted longer than the Zelthani attack, but the result was the same. "Each invasion taught us something new," Martinez said. "The Zelthani taught us about energy weapons and space travel. The Mordak taught us about heavy armor and planetary bombardment. The Vorthan Empire taught us about shields and teleportation. Every time a new species tried to conquer us, they just made us stronger. The images on the screen now showed Earth's current defenses: underground cities that could survive orbital bombardment, weapons platforms hidden beneath the oceans, fighter, craft that combined technology from multiple alien species, soldiers wearing armor that was more advanced than anything the hegemony had ever built. "This is why your invasion was doomed from the beginning," Martinez said. "You are not fighting primitive humans. You are fighting a species that has been invaded by some of the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy, and we have learned from every single one of them." Kethvar stared at the images in horror. "But why? Why do you keep fighting? Why not just surrender and join the galactic community peacefully?" Martinez laughed, but there was no humor in the sound. "Join the galactic community, Admiral? Every single species that has come to Earth has tried to conquer us, not welcome us. The Zelthani wanted to enslave us. The Mordak wanted to harvest our organs. The Vorthan wanted to use our world as a prison colony. And you? What did the hegemony plan to do with humanity?" Kethvar did not answer, but his silence was answer enough. "That is what I thought," Martinez said. "So no, Admiral, we will not surrender. Instead, we will do what we have always done. We will study your technology. We will learn your weaknesses, and we will use your own weapons against you. By the time this is over, the hegemony will just be another chapter in Earth's history of failed invasions." Alarms began sounding throughout the ship as more human boarding parties arrived via teleportation. Kethvar could hear the sounds of battle echoing through the corridors as his crew tried desperately to repel the invaders. "It is time to go," Martinez said. "My people will be taking control of this ship now. Do not worry, Admiral. You will be treated well. After all, we are going to need you to teach us about hegemony technology." As Martinez disappeared in a flash of teleportation energy, Kethvar finally understood the horrible truth. Earth was not a primitive world waiting to be conquered. It was a trap, baited with the appearance of weakness and armed with the combined technology of every species foolish enough to attack it. And now the hegemony had walked right into that trap. 2 weeks after the failed invasion began, Kethvar found himself in a human prison facility deep underground. The walls were made from some kind of metal he did not recognize, and the air had a strange smell that reminded him of the recycling systems on hegemony ships. Through a small window, he could see human engineers working on something that made his stomach turn with fear. They were taking apart his flagship piece by piece. The humans worked with frightening efficiency. They did not just randomly tear the ship apart like primitives might do. Instead, they carefully removed each component, studied it, scanned it, and then either stored it away or immediately began modifying it. Kethvar watched as his ship's main plasma cannon was detached and carried into a nearby workshop. Within hours, he could see human technicians testing a new version that appeared to be twice as powerful as the original. "Impressive, is it not?" a voice said behind him. Kethvar turned to see Dr. Sarah Chen, the human scientist who had been questioning him for the past week. She was small and looked harmless, but Kethvar had learned not to underestimate humans based on their appearance. Dr. Chen knew more about hegemony technology than most hegemony engineers. "How are you modifying our weapons so quickly?" Kethvar asked. "It should take years to understand technology that advanced." Dr. Chen smiled and sat down across from him. "Years? Admiral, we have been studying advanced alien technology for over 60 years. We know how energy weapons work. We understand plasma containment systems. We have reverse-engineered shield generators from 4 different species. Your technology is advanced, but it is not completely alien to us anymore." She activated a holographic display that showed the current status of Earth's defenses. What Kethvar saw made him feel sick. The humans had not just repaired the damage from the invasion. They had used captured hegemony technology to make their defenses even stronger. Your plasma cannons are now mounted on our defense platforms, Dr. Chen explained. Your shield generators are protecting our underground cities. Your propulsion systems are being installed in our spacecraft. In just 2 weeks, you have made Earth twice as hard to invade as it was before. This is impossible, Kethavar said. No species learns that quickly. Most species do not have to, Dr. Chen replied. Most species develop their technology slowly over thousands of years, with plenty of time to make mistakes and learn from them. But humans? We have been forced to learn quickly because our survival depends on it. Every time aliens attack us, we have to master their technology before they can destroy us. It has made us very good at rapid learning. She changed the holographic display to show a new image that made Kethavar's blood run cold. It was a human spaceship, but it was not like any human craft he had seen before. It was sleek and powerful, clearly built with technology from multiple alien species. But what terrified him most was that it was not alone. The display showed dozens of similar ships, all under construction in hidden shipyards around Earth. We call them the Integration Fleet, Dr. Chen said. Each ship combines the best technology from every species that has tried to conquer us. Zelthani energy weapons, Mordak armor plating, Vorthon stealth systems, and now hegemony shields and propulsion. They are the most advanced warships in this part of the galaxy. What are you planning to do with them? Kethavar asked, though he was afraid he already knew the answer. Nothing aggressive, Dr. Chen said. We are not conquerors like the species that keep attacking us. But we have learned that the galaxy is full of predators who see Earth as easy prey. So we are going to make sure that no one ever makes that mistake again. She touched the holographic display again, and new images appeared. These showed star charts with marked routes leading to Earth. But these were not just any routes. They were the exact paths that previous invasion fleets had used to reach Earth. Every species that attacks us follows a similar pattern, Dr. Chen explained. They scout nearby systems, looking for primitive worlds to conquer. When they find Earth, they assume we are helpless and plan their invasion accordingly. But what they do not realize is that we have been tracking their movements for decades. The star chart expanded to show a larger area of space around Earth. Kethavar could see dozens of star systems marked with different symbols. Some were marked as potential threats. Others were labeled as under observation. A few were marked as neutralized. We do not just wait for aliens to attack us anymore, Dr. Chen said. We watch them. We study them. We learn about their technology and their intentions long before they reach Earth. Sometimes we even visit them first. Kethavar stared at the star chart in horror. You are talking about attacking other worlds. That makes you no different from the species you claim to defend against. Dr. Chen shook her head. We do not attack innocent civilizations, Admiral. But when we identify a species that is planning to invade Earth, we sometimes decide to discourage them. A few disabled ships here, some missing scouting parties there. Usually it is enough to convince them to look elsewhere for easier targets. She showed him images of alien ships that had been damaged in ways that looked like accidents or equipment failures, but Kethavar could see the signs of deliberate sabotage. Someone with advanced knowledge of alien technology had carefully disabled these vessels to make it look like natural failures. The galaxy thinks that the space around Earth is cursed, Dr. Chen continued. So many ships have suffered mysterious failures in this region. So many invasion fleets have simply disappeared. Most species now avoid this entire sector of space. But not the hegemony, Kethavar said. No, not the hegemony, Dr. Chen agreed. Your people are too arrogant to believe in curses. You were convinced that your superior technology would protect you from whatever had destroyed the other invasion fleets. That arrogance is why you are sitting in this prison cell while your ships are being turned into scrap metal. Through the window, Kethavar could see more human workers arriving with equipment he recognized. They were bringing hegemony gravity generators and artificial intelligence cores. Within days, human ships would be equipped with technology that had taken the hegemony centuries to develop. "What happens now?" Kethvar asked. Dr. Chen stood up and prepared to leave. Now you help us understand hegemony technology better. You tell us about your weaknesses, your tactics, and your other fleets. In return, you get to live comfortably in this facility while we prepare for the next invasion." "And if I refuse to help?" Dr. Chen paused at the door. "Admiral, we have been reverse engineering alien technology for 60 years. We will figure out your secrets with or without your help. The only difference is that cooperation might earn you better treatment and maybe even eventual freedom." She left Kethvar alone with his thoughts and the view of his former flagship being systematically dismantled. Through the walls, he could hear the sounds of construction as humans worked day and night to integrate hegemony technology into their defenses. The most terrifying part was how organized it all seemed. This was not the desperate improvisation of a primitive species fighting for survival. This was the methodical work of a civilization that had turned being invaded into a science. Every step was planned, every piece of technology was cataloged, and every improvement was carefully tested. Kethvar realized that Dr. Chen was right about one thing. The hegemony had been too arrogant to see the truth about Earth. They had ignored the warnings, dismissed the stories about cursed space, and convinced themselves that their technology made them invincible. Now they were learning the same lesson that 17 other species had learned before them. Earth was not a world to be conquered. It was a trap, and every species that fell into it only made the trap stronger. As night fell over the human facility, Kethvar could see lights in the distance where more construction was taking place. The humans were building something new, something that combined the best features of every alien technology they had captured. And somewhere in space, the next species to discover Earth was probably making the same mistake that Kethvar had made. They were probably looking at this small blue world and thinking it would be easy to conquer. They had no idea what was waiting for them. 6 months had passed since Admiral Kethvar first looked down at Earth from his flagship. Now he stood in the same spot, but everything had changed. The bridge around him was still recognizably hegemony in design, but human modifications were everywhere. New control panels with Earth technology, upgraded weapons systems, and most disturbing of all, human crew members working alongside the few hegemony personnel who had agreed to cooperate. "Admiral," Captain Roberts said as she approached. His position. Roberts was the human officer now in command of what had once been Kethvar's flagship. She wore a uniform that combined human military styling with hegemony rank insignia. "We are ready to begin the demonstration." Kethvar nodded reluctantly. He had agreed to help the humans understand hegemony technology in exchange for better treatment and the promise that his crew would not be harmed. What he had not expected was how quickly the humans would surpass their teachers. Through the main viewing screen, Kethvar could see the test target, a hegemony destroyer that had been captured during the invasion. The ship was completely automated. Now, its systems controlled by human technicians who wanted to see how well their new weapons worked. "Fire when ready," Captain Roberts ordered. The modified plasma cannons that had once belonged to Kethvar's ship opened fire. But these were not the same weapons that the hegemony had built. Human engineers had improved the power output by 40% and increased their rate of fire. The beams that struck the target ship were brighter and more devastating than anything Kethvar had ever seen. The destroyer exploded in seconds. "Impressive," Roberts said with satisfaction. "The new plasma matrix design is working better than expected. Dr. Chen will be pleased." Kethvar watched the debris scatter into space and felt a deep sadness. That destroyer had been home to 300 hegemony soldiers. Now it was nothing but scrap metal, destroyed by its own weapons in the hands of the species it had come to conquer. "You are turning us into monsters," Kethvar said quietly. Roberts looked at him with genuine surprise. "Monsters? Admiral, we are doing exactly what your people tried to do to us. The only difference is that we are better at it." She gestured. to the tactical display, which showed the current status of the hegemony fleet. Of the 200 ships that had arrived at Earth, fewer than 30 remained operational. The rest had been destroyed, captured, or stripped for parts. The crews were either dead, imprisoned, or working for their former enemies. "Your people came here to conquer us," Roberts continued. "You brought weapons designed to destroy our cities and kill our people. You planned to enslave our survivors and steal our resources. When we defended ourselves, we became the monsters." Kethvar had no answer for that. Everything Roberts said was true. The hegemony had not come to Earth as friends or explorers. They had come as conquerors, and they had been defeated by the very people they had tried to destroy. "The difference," Kethvar said finally, "is that we were honest about what we were. You pretend to be defenders, but you are becoming conquerors." Roberts smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "Are we? Tell me, Admiral, how many human ships are currently attacking hegemony worlds?" Kethvar thought about it and realized the answer was 0. Despite having captured enough hegemony technology to build a formidable fleet, the humans had not launched any attacks on hegemony space. "How many human soldiers are occupying hegemony colonies?" Roberts asked. Again, the answer was 0. "How many hegemony citizens are being enslaved by human forces?" Kethvar remained silent. "The answer to all those questions is none," Roberts said. "We have not invaded your territory, enslaved your people, or destroyed your worlds. All we have done is defend our home and improve our ability to defend it in the future. If that makes us monsters, then I wonder what that makes your people." Through the viewing screen, Kethvar could see Earth in the distance. The planet looked peaceful from space, but he knew that beneath its calm surface, the humans were building something that would change the balance of power in this part of the galaxy. New ships, new weapons, new defenses, all based on technology, taken from species foolish enough to attack them. "There is something you should see," Roberts said, activating a new display. The screen showed a star chart of the local sector. Kethvar could see the positions of various alien civilizations, including the hegemony. But what caught his attention were the new markers that had not been there 6 months ago. Human observation posts scattered throughout the region like a spider's web. "We are not planning to conquer anyone," Roberts explained. "But we are going to make sure that no one can ever surprise us again. These observation posts will give us advance warning of any future invasion attempts. They will also serve as a reminder to potential aggressors that Earth is no longer an easy target." Kethvar studied the chart and realized what the humans had accomplished. They had not just defended their world. They had created a defensive network that extended far beyond their solar system. Any species planning to attack Earth would now have to deal with human forces long before they reach their target. "You have turned the entire region into your fortress," Kethvar observed. "We have turned it into a safe zone," Roberts corrected. "Any peaceful species is welcome to trade with us and share technology. Any aggressive species will find themselves dealing with defenses they cannot imagine." She showed him another display, this one showing recent communications intercepts from various alien civilizations. Kethvar read them with growing amazement. The hegemony's failed invasion of Earth had become legend throughout this part of the galaxy. Some species spoke of it with fear, others with disbelief, but all of them now knew that the small blue planet was not the easy target it had once appeared to be. "The Caltharian Empire was planning an invasion of Earth," Roberts said, pointing to one of the intercepts. "They changed their minds after hearing what happened to your fleet. The Nexus Confederation was considering an attack on our outer colonies. They decided to look for easier targets instead." Kethvar realized what the humans had accomplished. They had not just defended themselves, they had changed how the entire galaxy viewed Earth. What had once been seen as a primitive world ripe for conquest was now known as a place where invasion fleets went to die. "You have made yourself into a myth," Kethvar said. "We have made ourselves into a warning," Roberts replied. Every species in this region now knows what happens to civilizations that try to conquer Earth. They become part of Earth's defenses. Through the ship's communication system, Kethvar could hear reports from human technicians working throughout the vessel. They were installing new equipment, testing upgraded systems, and training more crew members to operate hegemony technology. The ship that had once been the pride of the hegemony fleet was becoming something new, something that combined the best features of human and alien engineering. "What happens to me now?" Kethvar asked. Roberts considered the question for a moment. "That depends on you, Admiral. You can continue to help us understand hegemony technology and tactics. You can serve as an advisor to help us prepare for future threats, or you can return to hegemony space and tell your leaders what you have learned here." "And if I choose to leave?" "Then you leave," Roberts said simply. "But you also carry a message back to the hegemony. Earth is no longer a target for conquest. Any future attacks will be met with technology that your people gave us, turned against the very civilization that created it." Kethvar looked out at Earth one more time and tried to imagine explaining this situation to the Hegemony Council. How could he tell them that their most advanced fleet had been defeated by a species they had considered primitive? How could he explain that their own technology was now being used to defend the world they had tried to conquer? Most importantly, how could he convince them that the humans were not just another enemy to be destroyed, but a new kind of civilization that grew stronger with every attack against it? As if reading his thoughts, Roberts spoke again. "Admiral, the hegemony can choose to be our enemy or our neighbor, but they cannot choose to be our conquerors. That option no longer exists." 1 year after the failed hegemony invasion, Admiral Kethvar stood in a comfortable office overlooking the city of New Geneva on Earth. The view through the large windows showed a bustling metropolitan area where humans worked alongside members of various alien species. Former hegemony soldiers walked the streets next to ex-Mordak engineers and reformed Zelthani scientists. It was a sight that still amazed him. The door behind him opened, and Director Walsh entered carrying 2 cups of coffee. Walsh was the head of the Alien Integration Project, a human organization that managed the various species who had chosen to remain on Earth after their invasions failed. "Good morning, Admiral," Walsh said, offering him one of the cups. "I trust you slept well?" Kethvar accepted the coffee gratefully. It was one of the few Earth beverages that he had learned to enjoy during his time here. "Well enough, Director, though I still have trouble believing this is all real." Walsh smiled and sat down behind his desk. The office was decorated with artifacts from various alien cultures, all gifts from former enemies who had become Earth residents. "I understand the feeling. Even after managing this program for 5 years, I sometimes have to pinch myself." Through the windows, Kethvar could see construction crews working on a new building. The workers included humans using modified hegemony tools, Vorthan engineers operating advanced machinery, and Mordak laborers whose strength made heavy lifting easy. They worked together with an efficiency that would have been impossible to imagine during the invasions. "How many are there now?" Kethvar asked. Walsh consulted his tablet. "Currently, we have about 15,000 former invaders living on Earth. That includes 3,000 from your fleet, Admiral. Most of them have chosen to stay permanently." Kethvar was not surprised. Life on Earth was better than most of these people had ever experienced in their home civilizations. The hegemony, like most galactic powers, was built on conquest and oppression. Earth offered something that was rare in the galaxy, a chance for redemption and a new beginning. "What about the others?" Kethvar asked. "The ones who chose to return home?" Walsh's expression became more serious. "That is actually what I wanted to discuss with you today. We have been monitoring communications from various alien civilizations, and there are some interesting developments." He activated a holographic display that showed recent intelligence reports from across the galaxy. Kethvar read them with growing interest. Several major civilizations were experiencing internal conflicts as returning survivors of Earth invasions spread stories about what they had learned. The Mordak Collective is facing a civil war, Walsh explained. Half of their military leaders want to launch another attack on Earth using everything they have learned from previous failures. The other half, led by survivors of their first invasion, are arguing that attacking Earth is suicide. Kethvar nodded. He had heard similar arguments among his own people. What about the hegemony? Your people are being more cautious, Walsh said. The Council is still debating whether to classify Earth as a threat or an opportunity. Some want to avenge the loss of your fleet. Others want to establish trade relations. Walsh showed him intercepts of hegemony communications. Kethvar could see that his former colleagues were struggling to understand what had happened at Earth. The official reports made no sense to people who had never seen humans fight. How could a primitive species defeat the most advanced fleet in hegemony space? There is something else, Walsh said, changing the display to show a new set of reports. We have detected 3 new civilizations that are planning invasions of Earth: the Dakari Imperium, the Synthetic Collective, and something called the Void Reapers. Kethvar felt a chill run down his spine. All 3 of those civilizations were known for their ruthlessness and advanced technology. They are all more dangerous than the species that have attacked before. So we have been told, Walsh agreed, which is why we are implementing some new policies. The holographic display changed to show Earth's current defenses. What Kethvar saw took his breath away. The planet was now surrounded by orbital platforms armed with weapons from half a dozen different civilizations. The moon had been converted into a massive military base. Hidden throughout the solar system were automated defense stations that could destroy entire fleets. But most impressive of all were the ships. Earth now had a fleet of over 200 vessels, each one more advanced than anything Kethvar had ever seen. They combined technology from every species that had ever attacked Earth, creating warships that were truly unique in the galaxy. We call it the Integration Defense Fleet, Walsh explained. Every ship is crewed by volunteers from various species, who have chosen to defend Earth, former enemies working together to protect their new home. Kethvar studied the fleet specifications and realized that each ship was essentially a flying museum of galactic military technology. Hegemony shields, Mordak armor, Zelthani weapons, Vorthon stealth systems, and human innovations all working together in perfect harmony. You have built the most advanced military force in this part of the galaxy, Kethvar observed. We have built the most experienced military force in this part of the galaxy, Walsh corrected. Every species that has tried to conquer us has contributed to our knowledge and our strength. We now understand the weaknesses of every major civilization because their own people have taught us. Walsh showed him training footage of the Integration Defense Fleet in action. Human pilots flew alongside former hegemony officers. Mordak Marines trained with ex-Zelthani commandos. Engineers from 6 different species worked together to maintain ships that no single civilization could have built alone. But this is not just about military defense, Walsh continued. We are also expanding our diplomatic efforts. The display changed to show a map of local space with new markers indicating human embassy ships. These vessels were stationed near various alien civilizations, offering trade opportunities and cultural exchange instead of threats and demands. Any species that wants to deal with Earth peacefully is welcome to do so, Walsh explained. We share technology, trade resources, and even offer sanctuary to refugees from oppressive governments. The only requirement is that they respect our sovereignty and the sovereignty of others. Kethvar read reports of successful diplomatic missions and trade agreements. Several smaller civilizations had already established formal relations with Earth. They were learning human agricultural techniques in exchange for advanced materials science. They were sharing medical knowledge in return for human entertainment and art. You are building an alliance, Kethvar realized. We are building a community, Walsh said. A region of space where civilizations can coexist without constantly trying to conquer each other. Some species find that idea appealing. Through the window, Kethvar could see a group of young humans and aliens playing together in a nearby park. Children from half a dozen different species, all born on Earth, all considering this planet their home. It was a future that no one could have imagined when the first alien invasion began 60 years ago. What happens when the next invasion comes? Kethvar asked. The Dakari, the Synthetics, and the Void Reapers will not be as easy to defeat as previous attackers. Walsh smiled, but there was something predatory in the expression. Admiral, every species that has attacked Earth thought they would be different. The Zelthani thought their energy weapons made them invincible. The Mordak thought their heavy armor would protect them. The Vorthon thought their stealth technology made them undetectable. Your people thought their shields and tactics made them unstoppable. He gestured toward the defensive displays. Each time, we have proven them wrong, and each time, we have become stronger. The Dakari might have better weapons than the Hegemony, but we now have Hegemony weapons plus improvements. The Synthetics might have superior artificial intelligence, but we have learned from the AIs of 4 different species. The Void Reapers might be more ruthless than previous invaders, but we have been studying ruthlessness for decades. Kethvar understood what Walsh was saying. Earth was no longer just a planet defending itself against random attacks. It had become something much more dangerous, a civilization that grew stronger and more experienced with every challenge it faced. There is one more thing you should know, Walsh said, activating a final display. We have decided to be more proactive about preventing future invasions. The screen showed images of human ships approaching alien worlds. But these were not invasion fleets. They were small diplomatic vessels carrying a simple message. Earth exists, Earth is strong, and Earth is willing to be a friend or an enemy, depending on how it is treated. We are introducing ourselves to the galaxy, Walsh explained. No more, waiting for species to discover us and decide we look easy to conquer. From now on, everyone will know about Earth and what happens to civilizations that attack us. Kethvar realized that this was the final evolution of Earth's defense strategy. They were no longer content to be a hidden trap, waiting for the next invasion. They were going to make sure that every species in the galaxy knew exactly what they were dealing with. As he looked out at the peaceful city below, Kethvar understood that he...
Dr. Lisa Chang stared at the screen, her hands shaking with excitement. The numbers were perfect. Absolutely perfect. After 3 years of failures, they had finally done it. The dark matter was trapped, contained, and stable inside the chamber. Carlos, come look at this, she called across the laboratory. Dr. Carlos Mendez, her fellow scientist, rushed over from his workstation at the Lunar Research Facility. Is that what I think it is? Carlos asked, his eyes widening as he studied the data. We did it, Lisa whispered. We actually caught dark matter, and it's not exploding. The room fell silent except for the humming of machines. Dark matter was invisible to normal eyes, but their special sensors showed it clearly. A swirling mass of energy, somehow darker than darkness itself, floating in their containment field. Commander Jack Sullivan entered the lab at exactly that moment. He was the head of Earth's Deep Space Defense Force, and he visited the lunar station often. His military mind always looked for ways to protect Earth. Dr. Chang, Dr. Mendez. Jack nodded. How are our experiments going today? Commander, you're not going to believe this, Lisa said, turning to face him. We've successfully contained dark matter for the first time in human history. Jack's eyebrows shot up. Show me. Lisa led him to a smaller chamber next to the main lab. We're going to run a simple test. Watch what happens when we adjust the containment field. She pressed a button. The air in the room seemed to bend and twist. A small metal plate, placed 10 feet away from the chamber, suddenly crumpled. Like paper, the metal folded in on itself, creating a perfect sphere no bigger than a marble. Holy! Jack caught himself. What just happened? Dark matter manipulation, Carlos explained. We created a tiny gravity well. The metal plate was pulled toward it with incredible force. Jack walked around the crumpled metal, examining it from every angle. You're telling me this dark matter stuff can do that from 10 feet away? This is just the beginning, Lisa said. We think we can shape the gravity. Fields bend space itself. The possibilities are endless. Meanwhile, far beyond Earth's solar system, something noticed the experiments. The Galactic Council maintained hidden sensors throughout this region of space. These sensors detected unusual energy patterns coming from Earth's moon. In a massive space station hidden behind a gas giant, 6 different alien species held an emergency meeting. The council chamber was enormous, designed to accommodate the various sizes and shapes of its members. Councillor Zethar of the Vortani Collective studied the energy readings. His 4 eyes blinked in sequence as he processed the information. These readings are impossible. The humans are attempting dark matter manipulation. Impossible, growled Councillor Kreshina, a reptilian being from the Krex Empire. No species has ever successfully contained dark matter. The power surge alone should have destroyed their entire moon. Yet here we have proof, said Councillor Grather, pointing a tentacle at the display. They have not only contained it, but appear to be experimenting with it. The council members exchanged worried glances. Throughout galactic history, many species had tried to harness dark matter. All had failed. Most had destroyed themselves in the process. Back on the moon, Admiral Catherine Morrison arrived for her scheduled inspection. As head of Earth's space military, she needed to know about every new development that could impact defense. Report, Commander Sullivan, she said as she entered the lab. Ma'am, you need to see this. Jack led her to the demonstration area. Lisa and Carlos repeated their experiment. This time, they used a stronger setting. A chunk of asteroid rock easily weighing several tons pulled apart like mud. The pieces swirled in the air before crushing themselves into a ball no bigger than a fist. Good God, Admiral Morrison breathed. The military applications are... She paused, thinking. We need to create a special project. Codename it something appropriate. What if we call it Project Phantom? Jack suggested. Since dark matter is invisible like a ghost. Perfect, the Admiral agreed. Dr. Chang, Dr. Mendez, your research just became classified at the highest level. I want you to explore every possible way this technology can be used, especially for defense. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. They had created something powerful beyond imagination. The peaceful applications were endless. New forms of space travel, energy generation, construction techniques, but in the wrong hands. Admiral, we should be careful, Lisa said. Dark matter is dangerous. One mistake could tear open space itself. Which is exactly why we need to master it first, Catherine replied. If we don't, someone else will. Over the following weeks, the team worked non-stop. They discovered they could create dark matter shields, invisible barriers that could stop any known weapon. They found ways to use dark matter for propulsion, pushing objects through space without traditional rockets. Carlos made a breakthrough with communication systems. Lisa, look at this. We can use dark matter to send messages instantly across any distance. No speed of light delay. That's impossible, Lisa said, studying his work. Nothing travels faster than light. Dark matter does. Carlos grinned. It exists partially outside our normal space. A message through dark matter could reach Mars in seconds instead of minutes. Jack observed all these developments with growing excitement and concern. Each discovery made Earth more powerful but also more dangerous to itself. One evening, as the team prepared to test their largest dark matter construct yet, the sensors detected something unexpected. A small, unknown object appeared at the edge of their detection range. What is that? Carlos asked, pointing at his screen. Unknown contact, reported the station's computer. Object appears to be scanning us. The object vanished before anyone could react. In the council chambers far away, the scout ship reported back to its masters. "The humans have done it," the scout captain announced. "They have working dark matter technology, multiple applications. They are advancing faster than any species in recorded history." The council members sat in stunned silence. Then, as one, they began speaking at once. Panic filled the chamber. On the moon, the research team continued their work, unaware that their success had triggered a crisis across the galaxy. Humanity had just announced itself as a new power in the cosmos, whether they knew it or not. Captain Emma Rodriguez sat in the pilot seat, staring at controls she had never seen before. The ship was unlike anything humanity had ever built, sleek, black, and somehow seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. "Ready for your first flight?" "Captain?" Dr. Lisa Chang asked over the radio. "As ready as anyone can be for something this crazy," Emma replied, gripping the controls. The Umbra 1 was humanity's first dark matter warship, built in secret at an asteroid shipyard deep in the belt. General Marcus Williams watched from the control tower. As military overseer of Project Phantom, he had been waiting for this moment for months. "All systems green. You may proceed with engine test." Emma took a deep breath and engaged the dark matter drive. The sensation was unlike anything she had experienced. The ship didn't accelerate gradually like normal spacecraft, it simply moved. One moment they were stationary, the next they were traveling at incredible speed. Incredible. She breathed into her microphone. "The G-forces should have killed me, but I barely felt anything." Dr. Henry Park, the lead engineer for propulsion systems, monitored the readings from his station. "The dark matter field is creating a bubble around the ship. You're not actually being pushed through space. You're being carried by manipulated space-time itself." "Can you try the defensive systems?" General Williams asked. Emma activated the dark matter shields. Invisible energy surrounded the ship, and the cosmos outside bent oddly. Light from distant stars warped around the vessel. "The gravity shields are working perfectly," Lisa reported. "You're essentially invisible to any conventional scanning method." For the next hour, Emma tested the ship's capabilities. She could make sharp turns that would normally require massive thruster burns. The ship responded like an extension of her thoughts. Then something unexpected happened. "Captain, we're detecting an unknown vessel approaching," the communications officer reported. Emma checked her screens. A small, angular ship appeared at the edge of their sensors. It was unlike any Earth vessel. "General, I think we have our first visitors," Emma said calmly. "Maintain defensive position," Williams ordered. "Do not engage unless threatened." The alien ship moved closer, its scanning beams sweeping over the Umbra 1. Emma watched as the beams failed to penetrate their dark matter shields. "They can't see us properly," she realized. "Our dark matter field is deflecting their sensors." The alien vessel suddenly changed course and accelerated away at impossible speeds. "Should I pursue?" Emma asked. "Negative. Let them go," Williams decided. "We've learned something important today." Millions of miles away, the alien scout ship reported back to its fleet. The pilot, a small gray being with large eyes, spoke rapidly into its communication device. "The humans have done it. They have a functional dark matter vessel. Our scans could not penetrate their defenses. They are more advanced than we predicted." In the hidden council station, emergency lights flashed. Council chambers filled with representatives from 6 different species, all speaking at once. "They are building warships!" Councilor Krishna shouted. "This is exactly what we feared!" "We must contain them," agreed another council member. Dark matter weapons could destabilize entire systems. Councilor Zethar raised a tentacle for silence. "We need more information. Send more scouts, but keep them at safe distances." Meanwhile, Emma continued testing the Umbra 1. She discovered the ship could bend light around itself, becoming completely invisible. "Dr. Park, you need to see this," she called. "I think I can create gravitational lenses." "What do you mean?" Henry asked. "Watch your screens." Emma manipulated the dark matter field differently. The ship seemed to vanish completely. Even their own sensors struggled to track it. "You've created a perfect stealth system," Henry said in amazement. "Even we can barely find you." Over the next few weeks, Emma tested every system. She learned to make the ship jump through space using shadow jumps, a form of faster-than-light travel that broke the laws of physics as humanity understood them. This shouldn't be possible, Dr. Carlos Mendez said, studying the data. You're moving through folded space. It's like drawing 2 points on a piece of paper closer together. Can you jump further? General Williams asked during one test flight. Let me try. Emma activated the shadow jump drive. The universe seemed to fold, and suddenly they were on the other side of the solar system. My God, Henry whispered. You traveled light hours in seconds. As testing continued, more alien scouts appeared. Each time they scanned the Umbra 1 and fled. Each time Emma let them go. Why don't we communicate with them? Emma asked during a briefing. Because we don't know their intentions, Williams replied. Until we do, we keep our advantages secret. But keeping secrets was becoming harder. Each alien scout that returned to its fleet brought information. The Galactic Council learned more with every encounter. They have perfected dark matter manipulation, one scout reported. Their single prototype vessel surpasses anything we can build. The council members faced a terrible choice. Throughout galactic history, no species had successfully weaponized dark matter without destroying itself. The humans had not only succeeded but seemed to be advancing rapidly. We must act soon, Councillor Grathor insisted, before they build an entire fleet. Act how? Zethar challenged. Our weapons are centuries behind their single experimental vessel. Back on Earth, production accelerated. The success of Umbra 1 led to immediate plans for more ships. How? Many can we build? Admiral Catherine Morrison asked during a strategy meeting. With our current facilities, 1 ship per month, Lisa reported. But if we expand production... Do it, Morrison ordered. I want a full squadron within 6 months. Ma'am, perhaps we should consider peaceful contact, Emma suggested. These alien visitors might be friendly. Or they might be threats, Williams countered. We prepare for the worst and hope for the best. As the meeting concluded, nobody noticed a single alien scout ship observing from beyond detection range. The scout had modified its equipment to track dark matter signatures from a distance. The crew recorded everything: human ship designs, apparent weapons capabilities, and most importantly, the rate of human advancement. When the scout departed, it carried information that would determine the fate of 2 civilizations. Emma continued testing the Umbra 1, unaware that her every maneuver was being studied. She had become humanity's first dark matter warrior, a symbol of Earth's new power in a galaxy that suddenly seemed much smaller and more dangerous than anyone had imagined. Admiral Catherine Morrison stood before a wall of screens, watching 12 dark matter warships move in perfect formation. The ships, painted black as space itself, were invisible to conventional sensors. Only Earth's special detectors could track them. Shadow Squadron, all systems nominal, Captain Danny Chen reported from the lead vessel. He commanded the new fleet, which they had named the Phantom Squadron after their secret project. Excellent work, Captain Chen, Morrison replied. How quickly can the fleet respond to threats? With shadow jump technology, we can reach any point in the solar system within minutes, Danny answered. Beyond the solar system, well, we're still testing those limits. Lieutenant Kelly Anderson, Morrison's aide, approached with new data. Ma'am, our deep space sensors are picking up increased alien activity. These aren't scouts anymore. We're seeing what appear to be warships. Morrison frowned. How many? At least 30 vessels positioned at the edge of our system, Kelly reported. They're just watching us. On the other side of the galaxy, the Galactic Council held another emergency session. The chamber buzzed with tension as representatives from 6 species argued over humanity's growing fleet. They now have 12 warships, Councillor Kreshna stated, her reptilian voice harsh. Each one more powerful than our entire combined fleet. This is unprecedented, added Councillor Vextar of the Aquari Union. No species has advanced this quickly. Something must be done. Councillor Zethar, increasingly concerned, addressed the assembly. I propose we make contact. Direct communication. We must understand their intentions. Contact? Kreshna hissed. They are building weapons of mass destruction. Our duty is clear. Meanwhile, on Earth, Ambassador Sarah Wright prepared for what she believed was a routine diplomatic mission. As Earth's top ambassador, she had been selected to lead humanity's efforts to find alien life and establish peaceful contact. Ambassador, your mission is simple, President Michelle Adams explained during a briefing. Take the diplomatic vessel to the outer edge of our system. Use all methods to signal peaceful intent and search for intelligent life. Sarah nodded. Mr. President, our scientists believe we've detected alien activity. Are you certain we should proceed with standard first contact protocols? Absolutely, the President replied, unaware of the building crisis. If there's life out there, we must approach as friends. Sarah's ship, the Harmony, was a civilian vessel equipped with every known communication method. It was not armed and displayed symbols of peace in hundreds of languages, both human and mathematical. As the Harmony approached the edge of Earth's solar system, Sarah's communications officer detected something unexpected. Ambassador, we're receiving a signal. It's alien in origin, Lieutenant James Nguyen reported. Put it through, Sarah ordered, her heart racing. The main screen flickered, and then showed something Sarah had only dreamed of seeing. Alien beings appeared before her. 6 different species, each more unusual than the last. Human representative, a melodic voice translated through their systems. We are the Galactic Council. We have been observing your species. Sarah stood, speechless for a moment. Then training took over. Greetings. I am Ambassador Sarah Wright of Earth. We come in peace, seeking friendship among the stars. Your species has developed forbidden technology, Counselor Zethar explained. Dark matter manipulation is prohibited by galactic law. Prohibited? Sarah looked confused. We had no knowledge of galactic law. We thought we were alone. The council members exchanged glances. They had debated this possibility but hadn't truly considered it. You developed dark matter weapons in isolation? Counselor Kreshina asked incredulously. We developed dark matter technology for scientific advancement and defense, Sarah clarified. We detected other species in our system, but chose to remain cautious until we knew more. Back on Earth, General Marcus Williams received immediate notification of the contact. Ambassador Wright has made contact with aliens, his aide reported. 6 species. They call themselves the Galactic Council. What do they want? Williams demanded. Sir, they claim dark matter technology is forbidden. They've been watching us for years. Williams felt a chill. Watching us? For how long? According to preliminary reports decades, they maintain a surveillance perimeter around our solar system. The general immediately activated the War Council. Within minutes, Earth's military and civilian leadership assembled in the Situation Room. We have a situation, Williams began. We are not alone, and the aliens who've been watching us are demanding we stop developing dark matter technology. Okay, what authority? Asked Admiral Morrison. They claim it's galactic law, Williams replied. Apparently, dark matter weapons are considered too dangerous by their standards. President Adams studied the reports. What happened to other species who developed this technology? That's what worries me, Williams admitted. If there's a law against it, there must be a reason. On the diplomatic vessel, Sarah continued her historic conversation with the council. Why is dark matter technology forbidden? She asked. Because, Counselor Grather explained, his tentacles waving nervously. Every species that has attempted it has either destroyed themselves or become a galactic threat. You are the first to achieve stable manipulation. We have safeguards, Sarah assured them. Our scientists have been very careful. Safeguards mean nothing, Kreshina growled. The risk is too great. You must dismantle your fleet. Sarah felt the weight of representing all humanity. I must consult with my government. This is a lot to process. You have until your next solar rotation, Zethar said, not unkindly. The council will vote on our response. As the communication ended, Sarah's mind raced. Humanity had achieved something apparently impossible, breaking not just the laws of physics but the laws of an entire galaxy. Back on Earth, the military leaders gathered for an emergency session. They gave us 1 day, Williams reported. After that, the Council votes on action against us. Options? Morrison asked. We comply and destroy our only defense, Williams said grimly. Or we refuse and potentially face war with 6 alien species. There's a third option, Danny Chen suggested from his ship command. We demonstrate that dark matter technology can be used responsibly. Show them our safety protocols and peaceful applications. Morrison nodded slowly. That's assuming they'll listen. They've listened so far, Sarah radioed from the Harmony. I believe Counselor Zethar at least wants to find a peaceful solution. As Earth's day of decision approached, both humanity and the Galactic Council prepared for an outcome that could reshape the galaxy. An isolated species had achieved the impossible, forcing an ancient galactic order to confront its deepest fears. General Marcus Williams stood in the command center staring at the tactical display. Earth's day of decision had come and gone. The answer was clear. Humanity would not destroy its only advantage. Ambassador Wright, tell the Council our decision, Williams ordered through the communication channel. From her position in neutral space, Sarah Wright took a deep breath. Counselors, Earth respects your concerns but must respectfully decline your ultimatum. We cannot disarm our only means of defense. A rumble of anger echoed through the alien chamber. Counselor Krishna's voice cut through the noise. This is an act of defiance against galactic law. You leave us no choice. Wait, Sarah pleaded. There must be a peaceful solution. The time for peace has passed, Counselor Grather declared, his multiple eyes gleaming. You have forced our hand. Within hours, massive alien warships emerged from hyperspace at the edges of Earth's solar system. Ship after ship appeared, creating a blockade around human territory. Count them, Admiral Catherine Morrison ordered her tactical officer. Ma'am, we're reading 57 warships, multiple configurations. They're all armed and taking defensive positions, came the reply. Morrison turned to Williams. They're not immediately attacking. This is a show of force. Agreed, Williams nodded. They want us to surrender without a fight. Captain Emma Rodriguez commanded the lead ship of humanity's response. The Umbra 1, along with 11 other shadow vessels, positioned themselves as Earth's first line of defense. Shadow Squadron Formation Delta, Emma ordered. Do not fire unless fired upon. We maintain defensive postures only. The standoff lasted 3 tense days. Neither side moved aggressively, but weapons remained trained on each other. On the 4th day, Counselor Grather grew impatient. This is your final warning, he announced across all communication channels. Surrender your dark matter vessels, or face the consequences. When no response came, he made a fatal decision. Target their outermost colony, Grather ordered his fleet, a demonstration of our resolve. 3 Council warships broke formation and headed toward Europa Station, humanity's ice mining facility. The attack happened quickly. Plasma beams and particle weapons struck the defenseless facility, but the station didn't explode as expected. Instead, 3 shadow vessels materialized from nowhere, their dark matter shields absorbing the alien weapons with ease. Captain Danny Chen commanded the response. Target acquired. Engaging defensive protocols. What happened next shocked everyone. The 3 shadow vessels didn't just defend. They counterattacked with precision that bordered on impossible. Dark matter weapons created localized gravity wells around each alien ship. The weapons were unlike anything seen before. They didn't explode or burn. They simply compressed. Metal screamed as the alien warships were crushed into tiny spheres no bigger than marbles. The 3 attacking vessels ceased to exist in seconds. The alien fleet froze in shock. Counselors in the distant station chamber watched their screens in horror. Impossible, whispered Counselor Vextar. 3 of our most advanced warships, just erased. Sir, we've lost all 3 attackers. An alien commander reported to Grather. Minimal defensive shields, complete destruction. Their weapons are beyond our understanding. The balance of power shifted instantly. The alien fleet had superior numbers but clearly inferior technology. What had been intended as a show of strength had revealed their weakness. Williams seized the moment. Ambassador Wright, open communications immediately. All parties, this is Ambassador Wright, Sarah announced. Earth demonstrated defensive action only. We do not wish to escalate. Please respond. For long moments, silence filled space. Then, surprisingly, Councillor Zethar responded. The Council will convene. No further action will be taken while we deliberate. In the Council chambers, heated debate erupted. They destroyed 3 warships like they were toys, Krishna exclaimed. We cannot win this fight with conventional weapons. Perhaps, Zethar suggested carefully, we should reconsider our approach. They showed restraint. They could have attacked our entire fleet. Restraint, Grathor thundered. They demonstrated overwhelming superiority. Meanwhile, Emma Rodriguez contacted Earth Command. Sir, we've proven our point. What are your orders? Williams consulted his advisors quickly. Captain Rodriguez maintained defensive positions, open direct communication with their fleet. From her command ship, Emma activated the alien fleet communication frequency. Council Fleet, this is Captain Rodriguez of Earth Defense. We do not seek conflict. Please withdraw to neutral distance for negotiations. There was a pause before a response came from the alien flagship. Earth vessel, this is Fleet Commander Vextar. We will comply. But know that this conflict is far from over. The alien fleet slowly moved back to extreme range, but remained in defensive formation. Ambassador Wright seized this opportunity. Counselors, Earth proposes a new solution. Rather than forbidding dark matter technology, why not establish protocols for its safe use? We can share our safety measures. You would teach us? Krishna asked, her tone skeptical. We would share knowledge, Sarah clarified. Our scientists discovered that the key is gradual implementation with strict containment protocols. This prevented the catastrophic failures other species experienced. Zethar's tentacles moved thoughtfully. This is unprecedented. No species has offered to share such technology. Admiral Morrison joined the communication. The Council fears dark matter weapons. We understand that fear, but we've proven they can be controlled. Instead of forcing us to disarm, perhaps we can establish mutual defense agreements, Earth's technology protecting Council members in exchange for recognition and cooperation. The Council chambers buzzed with discussion. The humans were offering alliance where they could have demanded submission. This changes everything, Vextar admitted privately to Zethar. They have the power to dominate but choose partnership. Yes, Zethar agreed. Perhaps humanity is different from past threats. Grathor, however, remained suspicious. They seek to gain our trust and then strike when we're vulnerable. The standoff continued, but the dynamic had shifted. Humanity had shown both its power and its restraint. The Council faced a choice: maintain outdated fears or accept a new galactic reality. From her ship, Sarah Wright felt the weight of history. This moment would determine humanity's place in the galaxy, as conquerors, as outcasts, or as partners in something greater than themselves. President Michelle Adams stood before the massive viewing window of Earth's first orbital conference station. Below her, alien ships docked alongside human vessels. The sight was still hard to believe. Report, Admiral Morrison, she said, turning to her military commander. Ma'am, all Council species have sent representatives. Security protocols are in place. The conference begins in 1 hour, Catherine Morrison replied. The event was historic. The first galactic conference, held not in secret council chambers but in open space where all species could meet as equals. Dr. Lisa Chang adjusted her holographic display one final time. As humanity's chief scientific representative, she would present Earth's dark matter technology to the assembled alien delegates. Dr. Chang, are you ready? President Adams asked. As ready as anyone can be when explaining our greatest achievement to beings who consider it impossible, Lisa replied with a nervous smile. The conference hall filled with delegates from 7 different worlds. Earth had been granted full membership in the Galactic Council, though tensions remained. Representatives of all member worlds, Councillor Zethar began, his tentacles gesturing welcomingly. We gather today to begin a new chapter in galactic history. Lisa stepped forward when called. Holographic displays showed Earth's dark matter research in detail. For decades, we developed safety protocols that prevented the disasters other species experienced, she explained. The key is gradual containment, multiple fail-safes, and distributed control systems. Counselor Kreshna interrupted. These safeguards may work for now, but what happens when you advance further? When you create weapons that can tear apart planets? That's exactly why we're here, President Adams responded, taking the podium. Earth proposes a joint commission to oversee all dark matter research galaxy-wide. We share our knowledge, and together we establish universal safety standards. The alien delegates murmured among themselves. This was not what they had expected. Admiral Morrison presented the military component. Earth also proposes a mutual defense treaty. Our shadow vessels will protect all member worlds, while we gain access to other technologies that can benefit humanity. You would protect the very worlds that threaten to destroy you? Counselor Grathor asked, surprised. We believe in cooperation, not conquest, Morrison replied firmly. Dark matter technology is powerful, but it's useless without wisdom. Hours of debate followed. Each species had concerns, hopes, and ancient fears to overcome. But gradually, a new agreement took shape. The proposed treaty has 3 main points, Zethar summarized. First, all dark matter research will be monitored by a joint council. Second, a combined defense force will protect all member worlds. Third, technology sharing becomes mandatory among all members. The vote was not unanimous. Grathor's species voted against it, still fearing human dominance. But the majority approved. 6 months later, the first joint patrol ships entered active service. Shadow vessels equipped with Council technologies worked alongside alien ships upgraded with human dark matter shields. Captain Danny Chen commanded this new combined fleet. Strange to think we were almost at war, he commented to his alien second-in-command, a Vortani named Crix. Many still watch you with caution, Crix replied, adjusting controls with multiple tentacles. But your actions speak louder than your weapons. On Earth, the changes were visible everywhere. Alien embassies opened in major cities. Human colonies expanded using Council terraforming techniques. Children learned alien languages in school. Not everyone was happy with the changes. Some humans thought their government had given away too much. Some aliens still feared Earth's growing influence. But for most, the benefits were clear. Disease rates plummeted using alien medical technology. Earth's agricultural output tripled with Council farming techniques. Human science advanced decades, in months through collaboration. Ambassador Sarah Wright now served as Director of Interspecies Relations. We've become something greater than we were alone, she often said in her speeches. The dark matter research facility on the moon had expanded into a multi-species campus. Scientists from all 7 worlds worked together, pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Dr. Carlos Mendez shared an office with Aquari researchers, whose underwater adaptations brought unique perspectives to space sciences. We learn more together than we ever could apart, he remarked to visiting students. 1 year after the conference, Counselor Zethar visited Earth for the anniversary celebration. You have surprised the galaxy, he told President Adams privately. Most species with such power would have demanded tribute or territory. Instead, you chose partnership. Power means nothing without friends, Adams replied simply. The celebration took place at the site where humans had first contained dark matter. Now it hosted delegates from across known space, all working together. Captain Emma Rodriguez, now an admiral herself, flew demonstration flights with pilots from all member species. The precision flying displayed perfect cooperation between former enemies. Below, children from different worlds played together, their laughter echoing through the station. They would grow up in a universe where cooperation was normal, where differences were celebrated rather than feared. Late that night, high above Earth, the combined fleets conducted training exercises. Shadow vessels moved in perfect formation, with alien ships, their different technologies working together seamlessly. "Sir, incoming distress signal," reported Lieutenant Kelly Anderson from her station. "Unknown vessel, heavily damaged entering our space." Admiral Morrison responded immediately. "All vessels form rescue formation. Prepare medical and engineering teams." The damaged ship limped into view, a design none of them recognized. "This is Admiral Morrison of the Galactic Defense Force," Catherine broadcast. "Unknown vessel, you are safe. We are here to help." A weak transmission came back. "Thank you. Did not expect such response." As rescue operations began, the significance was not lost on anyone. The galaxy had changed. Where once fear and isolation dominated, now help came freely. The injured ship's crew would soon learn about the new galactic order where dark matter technology, once feared as humanity's weapon, had become the foundation for unprecedented peace. From their observation deck, Earth's leaders watched the rescue operation unfold. This was their legacy. Not weapons of war, but tools for building a better universe for all sentient life.